Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello there. Just saw the movie The Legend of Bhagat Singh. Apparently a retelling of the legendary character Bhagat Singh. Okay, apparently this guy was a revolutionary during the time of Gandhi. Gandhi stood for basically the passive route, like Martin Luther King. However, Bhagat Singh basically understood that when you're considered little and, well, basically you're a slave at that point in time, it doesn't operate. That cannot work. That's why it didn't work out. Like Gandhi basically told them at the beginning of the movie, you can't do this. Of course, this movie starts off at the end with their hanging, and then how they disgraced the bodies, and how people viewed Gandhi after the fact because he didn't get them free. Okay, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's a historical piece, a reenacting of situations. A few things kind of like, that doesn't seem to work, that doesn't make sense. But in a society where they're just still trying to grasp on what they want to do after they are free, it's understandable. Oh, one of the things about this movie is the music. Like, Bollywood likes to throw in songs in their movies, which honestly, sometimes they tell part of the story, sometimes they don't, sometimes you really don't know what they're doing. And in this movie, they really didn't match the tone. Like, there's one part where they're starving in prison and they're singing a song which just doesn't feel, it doesn't add to the emotional impact. I feel like they should have done something far more impactful. And also another song where they're walking to the gallows where they seem arrogant. No. I thought it would be better to make them look proud, but no, the way they're singing, the way they're moving, it all seems arrogant. It's like, no, you guys should be proud that you are doing this. You're being martyred for your belief. But it's just like a few little things in the movie itself. The character, it's sad what happened, all this stuff. They do get to the point that he was a strong character, 23, when he died for his country, being martyred for his country, never wanting to do violence, but when you're a slave, the masters don't listen to the slaves unless there is a huge impact. So he wanted to be that huge impact. Gandhi wanted to be the slave that was patient enough to be heard. However, Bhagat Singh was loud enough to allow the people to be heard. So nothing would have happened in India if it wasn't for him. Gandhi would have never been heard. None of the other people in India would have ever been heard because they were slaves. It is funny because as I was watching, it was just like, wow, it seems like Britain was always the tyrant because America fought for their freedom for Britain. What is it? Australia, Africa, India, every single nation seems to have fought for their freedom from Britain. Why is it America seen as a dictator when Britain's the one that has had been pushed out of every nation? It's funny. It's funny to think about stuff like that. I mean, I don't have a problem with Britain, just like their history seems to be very colonial. Whatever. I'm not getting on that topic. But it was just like, I like this movie because the development, just like, I like this movie. It's a historical piece. It really does show, because especially watching it with someone from India, how Gandhi isn't really seen as a really beloved person in India. It's the rest of the world that values Gandhi, when he really had nothing to do with the freedom of India. And especially since, because there were things like, I was even having questions. It was like, here, Bhagat Singh was using, like America, they used their own firearms to free themselves from the British. That firearms became something that you're allowed to have. Why? Because you want to free yourself from governmental rule. However, Bhagat Singh died before the freedom that it seems like their own government realized that would be a problem, that they removed it. It's just like all these little things. It was like, why would they get rid of it? It's like, oh, well, he's dead. There's no way he could have actually stated this as a way of keeping the civilians, giving the people the power to, you know, dictate the way the government rules. Because just like at the very end, government has too much power, government does this, government does this. It's just like, yeah, politicians, rich, it always benefits the politicians. I mean, here, even in the States, which it still has that problem. So it is fun to see that he had these intentions, but because he died too young, too soon, was taken out of the equation when they finally got their freedom, that he wasn't allowed to input his personal beliefs. He was stripped of what he wished to do, that ended up going to the people he didn't want to choose. It went to the politicians, it went to the rich and wealthy to choose what things would be put in place. So it's kind of like a sad story here. He fought for what he believed in, yet what he believed in, even though the freedom of India happened, India isn't free. There are a lot of little things. It was a good movie overall. Even though some of the songs are like, what? Like there's one girl, I don't know if she ended up marrying him or not. There was a song piece that I skipped and I was like, was that even important to the story? Because she keeps popping up. Did they marry? Because, I don't know. Yeah, I love historical movies, so even when they're done wrong, I still enjoy them. Just it. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles!